looks like we're going to get a new iPhone. It's being reported that Apple is going to be launching their new iPhone 5S on September 10th. Here with me is Chris Diacha and Rocco Pendola, visiting us from California. So let's talk about this phone because, 5S just sounds like a little bit of an upgrade from the 5, which was just a little bit of an upgrade from the 4S. I mean, do we really want to run out and go buy this phone?
Yeah, Apple's actually got a couple new things in the 5S, which I think will actually make people really see the difference between the 5 and the 5S, whereas the 4S and the 5, there really wasn't that much of a perceived difference. The big difference that Apple's going to include is fingerprint technology. You can actually unlock the phone with your fingerprint as opposed to putting in passwords. And it could also be used for mobile payments, which is where I see Apple getting into software and services. They're really trying to ramp up that part of the business. So fingerprint technology on the iPhone 5S could be a big segue into that.
Well, I hope the fingerprint works better than that. Hello, Google. Hello, Google. Hello, Google, which never seems to work. So, Rocco, everyone's also talking about that Apple's going to come out with a low-cost phone. Now, we all know Samsung and our good friends at Google have a cheaper phone. I mean, is this really what people want? Would they prefer a cheaper phone over the souped-up phone?
I don't think we need a cheap iPhone. I don't think Apple thinks we need a cheap iPhone. Tim Cook said as much. He says, one thing we'll never do is build crappy products. And while cheap doesn't always equate to crappy, a plastic backing on a really inexpensive iPhone, that just isn't the Apple way. So I don't think they're going to do it. Sort of like with iPad mini. People thought that was going to be a $200 tablet. It wasn't. And it went in there and it crushed a category at $329. So I think and I hope we see something similar if Apple does tweak the iPhone a bit, because they don't need a cheap phone. What they need is a phone that compels people to spend more money. That's what Apple is, right? It's a company that puts out products that are premium priced and they wow you, so you're willing to spend more for them.
Well, we do know one thing, and that's the gross margins. They're saying that the gross margins are going to be pretty good. So that would lead one to believe that they will have a more expensive phone and not a cheap phone, right?
Yeah, gross margin guidance for the fiscal fourth quarter is between 36 and 37%. That's a little bit higher than I was expecting and a little bit higher than what a lot of analysts on the street were expecting. That guidance suggests that not only could we see a low-end iPhone that's not as cheap as people think, but the iPhone 5S could be a global phone. Qualcomm came out with a chip in February that's designed to run on all the networks around the world. That would allow Apple to build one single iPhone for every country and every carrier that it supports, thus cutting down costs and raising gross margins.
Well, that's pretty compelling, Rocco. I mean, beyond, being able to do the fingerprint thing is kind of cool. But if everybody can just buy a phone, and we're such a global society, to be able to cross borders with one phone would be kind of nice.
Yeah, and Cook's been traveling to China a lot, which, we can't forget about that. It seems like we haven't been talking about China as much as we were. I think one thing's clear. Right now there's this air hanging over Cook's head that's saying you need to do something. Now, whether or not that's coming from Apple's board or it's just people like us talking about it, it's go time. And it's go time here in the next 3 to 6 months. So they need to do something that makes people say, yeah, this is the innovative company we remember.
Will you go buy an iPhone 5S?
No, because my contract, I'm in till September 2014.
You?
Yes.
All right, there we go. Well, I've got the 4 and it's going to be obsolete pretty soon. So who knows, I might have to upgrade to a 5, maybe a 5S. That's Chris Diacha, Rocco Pendola, and I'm Deborah Borchardt with TheStreet.